Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, dear students. I hope all of you would be fine, doing well. امروز lecture ما سر موضوع sectors of economy است. Previously we started the two-sector economy, and before that we started the definition of macroeconomics. شما خبر هستین که macroeconomics همون مضمون است که درباره اقتصاد عمومی صحبت میکنه. این تعریف در صنف براتان تشریح کرده بودیم که macroeconomics is that branch of economics which studies the behavior of the whole economy. او تعریف باز هم تکرار کردیم. بعد از او سر نظام اقتصاد صحبت کرده بودیم که نظام اقتصاد امروزی ما 4 سکتر است که ما شروع از 2 سکتر کردیم که آدم سمیت ایره تخلیق کرده بود و ایره به نام مارکت اکانومی و کپیتالیزم هم یاد میشه. So, two-sector economy is that type of economy in which there are 2 sectors, including business sector and household sector. Household sector provide productive services and other inputs to the business sector, and the business sector in return provide them income, resource income, which includes wages, rents, and interest rate. Goods and services are produced by the business sector, and those goods and services are then supplied to the market for household. You can see the arrow coming from business to the household, and the household sector then spend the income which they have previously received. That income is spent on the goods and services, so the money goes back to the business sector, which means like this economy flows in the form of circle. And I told you before that people do not consume their whole income. Some of the income is saved for future purposes. That income, that saving goes to the commercial bank, which is called leakage. The commercial bank then provide that saving in the form of loan to the business sector, which is called injection. 1930, this model, two-sector economy, it failed because the engine behind this two-sector economy was the Say's law. And I told you Say's law is a law which was given by J.B. Say, who was a prominent classical economist. He said that supply creates its own demand, which means like whatever amount of goods is supplied by the business sector to the market, it will be automatically sold because it will generate demand for itself. And how it will generate demand for itself, I told you that whenever the business sector decides to produce more output, it provides more job to the people and more people get income, and that income is then spent on the goods and services in the market. So in the form of increasing demand. So that's how the Say's law failed in 1930. There was a war hysteria, there was a war situation. People, particularly in the United States, they decided to cut back their expenditures and they decided to save money. So what happened? Goods and services were being supplied to the market on the basis of law. Law was it will create demand for itself, but unfortunately it didn't. When it didn't create demand for itself, there was huge amount of unsold goods and services in the market. It was a huge surplus, and because of that huge surplus, the companies then realized that it's not going to work anymore to produce more output because the demand is not being generated in the market. So that's why they decided to cut back production. And when they cut back production, people lost their jobs, and millions of people in the United States, they lost their jobs, and unemployment increases to a great extent. Then there was another economist by the name of J.M. Keynes. John Maynard Keynes, who was a British economist. And he then suggested to the President of the United States, he wrote letters and he said that the government should interfere in the economy. So when his suggestion was accepted, after that the government intervened in the economy. The government provided a lot of compensation to the companies which were closed down due to the weak situation of the economy, which is called a recession. Now you can see this model. It has three sectors now. It has household, it has business sector, and it has government. Excuse me. The same interaction happens, the same flow of income happens, just like discussed in the two-sector economy. You can see over here, the household, they provide the productive services. You can see this blue arrow. Go to the business sector, which means productive services and other inputs are supplied by the household to the business sector, are provided by the household to the business sector. The business sector in return give them income. You can see the red arrow. This is the income line which goes to the household sector. The business sector produces goods and services. Those goods and services are then supplied to the market. For household, you can see this arrow which is going from business to the household, representing goods and services. People, when they received income previously, you can see the red line, and this income is then spent on the goods and services in the form of expenditures. So the money goes back to the business sector, just like discussed in the two-sector economy. Some people save money for future purposes, which is leakage, goes to the commercial bank. The commercial bank then give that in the form of loan to the business sector, which is called injection. Now here we have the third sector, which is government. Government has a very particular job, a lot of role these days the government is playing in the economy. The government collect taxes mostly, which is a major source of its revenue. The government collect taxes from the household. You can see this arrow to present taxes. The government collect taxes from the business sector also. You can see this arrow. And all these taxes which are collected by the government is the revenue of the government. The government then spend this money by providing security and other services to the household. Security, you can say police services and defense services, and in other services we include educational and health services. The government then provide the same services to the business sector also, mostly security. But along with this, the government spends millions of dollars on the domestically produced goods and services produced by the business sector. So you can see there is written government spending, which means دولت هم مصرف کننده کلان است در یک اقتصاد و همه پول که به شکل مالیه جمع میکنه ایره پس مصرف میکنه زیاد یک سهمش سر تولیدات داخلی که گورنمنت سپندینگز اونجا ذکر شده. خب شاگردای عزیز در این قسمت چون تری سکترهای اقتصاد براتان تشریح کردیم. انجکشنز اینجا چی است؟ انجکشنز مصارف دولت است و لیکیج اینجا چی است؟ همین مالیه است که ما به دولت میدیم. خب شاگردای عزیز در تری سکتر اکانومی ما دو تا لیکیجز داریم که یکیش سیوینگ شد، دومش تکسز شد و دو تا انجکشنز داریم. یک انجکشن اینوستمنت است که همون پول که بانک ها به شکل قرض به بزنس سکتر میده و پس اینوست میشه، سرمایه گذاری میشه، او اینوستمنت پچکاری است، او را انجکشن میگه. و اینجا دولت که از ما تکس گرفت که تکس برتان گفتیم که لیکیج است، بازو تکس را پس مصرف میکنه به شکل انجکشن که نامشان است گورنمنت سپندینگ. این پس در داخل اقتصاد چی میشه؟ پشتکاری میشه به شکل مصارف دولت. خب دو تا لیکیجز شد، دو تا انجکشن شد. دو تا لیکیجز چی هست؟ سیوینگ پلس تکسز و دو تا انجکشن شد اینوستمنت پلس گورنمنت اکسپندیچرز. امیر نوٹ کنین امرایتان و نوٹ هم همینجا ذکر است. این نوٹ امرای شما شریک میشه، این تشریحشان است، این را با شما بخوانین. اگر سوال باشه سوال انشاءالله در گروپ مطرح کنین، ما در خدمت هستم. دیگه وقت خوش به کلگیتان میخوایم. ویدیو را کوتاه جور کردیم تا که به شما آسانتر باشه. زنده باشین، وقت خوش و از کرونا خداوند شما را نگاه کنه. زنده باشه. خداحافظ.